All right, good morning, boys and girls. We are going to be working on some morning work today. We're going to be counting some coins. We're going to do some adding. We're not going to worry about our subtraction yet because we haven't talked about that. And then we're going to review some time because I thought that this would be fun to go over. So to start off, we're going to count our coins and we're going to look to see what we have, and we can see that we have quarters and we have pennies. So I want you guys to count through with me, and we're going to count each quarter: 25, 50, 75, $1. So we know that we have $1 in our quarters. And then we have 3 pennies. So we're going to go $1, 1 cent, $1, 2 cents, $1, 3 cents. And we're going to remember when we write our answer, we're going to remember our dollar sign. Now for adding, we see that we have 252 plus 496. So I'm going to come over here because I can show my work better over here. We're going to write out 252 plus 496. So you guys can solve this the best way that you know how. I'm going to draw a picture because I like using pictures for this. So I know that we have 252. So I'm going to start by drawing my two hundreds. Then we have our 5 tens. So I'm going to draw out my 5 tens here. And then we have our 2 ones. So I'm going to draw our 2 ones over here. Then we come down here and we see we have 496. So we're going to draw our 4 100s. Draw out our 4 100s. And then we have 9 tens. So we're going to draw our 9 tens over here. And then we have our 6 ones. So we're going to draw out our 6 ones over here. Then we're going to look at our picture and we're going to see if we can do any grouping. Remember, grouping, we could have 10 ones or we could have 10 tens. So we're just going to go through and we're going to see if we can group anything. Our ones, it looks like we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can't do any grouping there. If we look at our tens, we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, so for that, we know we can take that and we can group it. And then we're going to bring our group over, and our 10 tens is equal to 1 100. So we're going to add a 100 over here. And now we can count our 100s. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 100s. So we can write 700. And then we're going to look at our tens. Remember, we grouped this, so we don't have to count these. This is grouped, we brought it over, so now we don't even have to count this in. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 tens, which means we have 40 plus we have our 8 ones. And now this makes adding so much easier for us. So we can do 40 plus 8, and we can get 700 plus 48, because we added our 40 and our 8, and we got 48. So 700 plus 48 is 748. That's our final answer. So we can come over here and we can write 748 as our answer. Now we can do 386 plus 176. So I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to write it out over here because I have more room to show my work. We want to make sure we're always showing our work. And I'm still going to draw pictures. So I'm going to start with our 3 100s. And then we have our 8 10s. So we're going to draw our 8 10s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we have our 6 1s. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Our 6 1s for 386. And then we have our 176. So we're going to draw our 100. Our 7 10s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're going to draw our 6 1s over here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to look at what we have, and we're going to see if we can do grouping again over here. So we start with our 1s, and we see that we have 12 1s. So we can make a group of 10 over here. So we're going to group our 10, just like that, and we're going to bring our 10 over. And we're going to add our 10 here. So that leaves us with 2 1s. And then for our 10s, we can count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 10s. And we know that 10 10s is equal to 100. So we're going to group these up. Our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We're going to take our 10 10s. We're going to group them. And then we're going to move it on over, because we know that 10 10s is equal to 100. And that leaves us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 10s. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 100s. So when we write it out, we're going to write out 1, 2, 3, 4, 500. All right, 500. And we're going to go to our 10s. Now remember, we grouped these, so we're not going to count our group because we moved it over, so we're not going to count them. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 10s, and we know that 6 10s is equal to 60. So we're going to write our 60 down. And then we come over to our 1s, and same thing with our 1s. We grouped this 10, so we do not want to count it because we moved it over. So we're not going to count our group. We're just going to count our 1, 2, 2s. Plus 2. And we can do some quick, easy math here. We know that 60 plus 2 is 62. So we can write 500 plus 62. And this makes, and we have to remember equal signs. I don't have you guys here reminding me to put my equal sign in. So we have 500 plus 62, which is 562. And that's our final answer. So we're going to come over here and we're going to write 562. And there's our final answer. Now we're going to write some time. We've talked about what quarter and half means. So remember quarter, we talked about on our clock down here. Our clock is split up into quarters. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So if it's a quarter past 4, we're going to come to our first quarter right here, which is the 3. And we know when we go around the clock that we're going to, that's my clock going off. And we know that it's 5, 10, 15. So a quarter past 4 is going to be 4:15. B, 40 minutes after 9. So we know 9 is going to be our hour. 40 minutes after, we know it's going to be 9:40. And then a 7:30. So if we come over here, our clock, if we look at it, cut in half right here. A 7:30 means that our minute hand is going to be right here at our 6. And if we count by 5s around our clock, we go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So we know a 7:30 is going to be 7:30. And then a 5:15. That's the same thing that we talked about for 4:15. So we know that this is going to be 5:15. Now for number 4, we're going to write the time under each clock. So we're going to look, and we remember that our long hand in all of our clocks is our minute hand. And a way we can remember this, our long hand is our minute hand. Minute is a long word. It's a long word, so it needs a long arrow. And our hour is our shorthand. And we can remember this because hour is a short word. There's only 4 letters, so it only needs a shorthand. Minute is a long word, so it needs a long one. Hour is a short word, so it needs a short arrow. So we look over here, and we see that our shorthand is kind of between our 2 and our 3, and our long minute hand is pointing at our 6. So when we go around the clock, we know that this is 30, so it's going to be 2:30 is our time. 2:30. This clock, looking at it, our hour hands between our 3 and our 4, and it's our minute hands pointing at the 9. So we know that this is going to be 3. And then we go around our clock, and we're going to count 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. 45. Then on this clock, we have our hour hand is between our 4 and our 5, and our minute hand is pointing at our 8. So we know that it's going to say 4, and 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So we know it's going to be 4:40 on this clock. And we're going to come over here, and we see that our hour hand is pointing to the 5. So we are going to write 5, and our minute hand is pointing to the 1, which is 5:05. The number 5, how many hours are in one day? I want you guys to think about this one. How many hours is in one day? It's 24 hours. 24 hours. Then how many days are in 1 week? We know that there are 7 days in 1 week. And then how many months are in 1 year? We know that there's 12 months in 1 year. I encourage you guys to practice reading clocks with your families while you're at home and just trying to keep track of time. And I also encourage you guys to continue practicing your 3-digit addition.